All right, welcome back, guys. So today we're going to be talking about a recent fight announcement. Actually, I don't even think it's official yet, but Bo Nichols said it on a podcast, and apparently, I saw a lot of stuff about rumors going around with it, and I do think it's going to happen. So apparently, we're going to be getting Volkanovski versus Ilya Topuria 2 to headline UFC 314. It's already an awesome card, and I want to talk about it briefly before we hop into the main event. But I am really excited that they're doing the rematch. Personally, I kind of would have rather Topuria fight somebody else. I feel like there's a few competitive fights for him. I think that him versus Diego Lopez is something I want to see, even though I think he cooks Diego. I think that him versus Evloev is a fight I want to see, even though I think he beats Evloev. And I wouldn't be mad about him versus Islam Makhachev. I think that would be a fun fight. And honestly, I think Ilya wouldn't win, but I think it would be a close fight that he can win. So I'd be interested in seeing that fight. And maybe they make it because recently Dana was I think it was like yesterday, a power slap. Somebody asked about Armin and they were like, is it punishment? Like, why isn't he getting the fight if he's still number one contender? And it Dana just kind of alluded that they might have other options. So those other options have to be either Topuria coming up or Islam going to 170 to fight Bilal, or whoever wins Bilal versus Shavkat. So we'll see what happens there. But from what I understand, it seems like Topuria versus Volk 2 will happen on UFC 314, and it's going to be a good fight. I'm hoping that Volk comes back and has a more competitive fight this time. But before we jump into that, let's talk about the other ones because I'm pretty hyped about them. Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. That should be fun. Chase Hooper keeps getting these older vet matchups, but this is a fight I think he should win. But it's a compelling fight because Jim Miller still got it. He's still got power. He's a great grappler, and I'm sure he'll give Chase a little bit of a challenge at least. Then there's also Verna Jandiroba versus Yanji Anand. I'm assuming that's a title eliminator. That's going to be a good fight. Grappling of Verna versus Jan striking. They announced Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. That's another great fight. I've always been really high on Krylov. He's just very inactive, but I think he's a very good fighter. I think he's going to win that one, but it's a good fight. Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales. I already did a video on that one. I think Morales will win, but it's a great fight and a good matchmaking, giving Morales another big name, another step up. But for the main event, oh, yeah, and there's also Pantoja, Kai Kara France, but I'm going to do a separate video for that one. Now, for the main event, Volkanovski versus Topuria 2. I don't love that Volk's been out so long. It's been how long now? Let me double check. It's been just about a year since they fought the first time. I don't love that. I wish he came back and had maybe one other fight, like let him fight Diego Lopez or Sterling or Evloev, but he's been sitting out for the title and he deserves it. Like, it's Volkanovski, one of the greatest featherweights to ever do it. I think everybody's kind of just throwing him away now because he got knocked out by Islam and he got knocked out by Ilya Topuria, but he got knocked out by two of the greatest fighters in the UFC and possibly to ever do it. Like, they're both absolute studs, both Topuria and Islam, and getting knocked out, especially going up a weight class against Islam on short notice, I don't think it's that bad of a look. So I, I I expect this fight to go a little bit differently. Rematches almost never go the same. I think Volk's gonna have a good game plan. I think he's not going to rush into anything. He's going to try to strike at range. And you guys shouldn't forget, like, look at Volk fight to fight to fight against Max Holloway, how he evolved his game plan. By the time they fought the third time, Holloway couldn't do anything. Volk had him completely figured out. So I think this entire time, Volk's been doing his research. Volk's been watching. He's been figuring out his game plan. And I think he's going to come out a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, I don't really know what he could do that much differently to win this time. I feel like Ilya at this point of his career is a better boxer. Ilya is a lot more powerful, in my opinion. Ilya is faster, and Ilya is more well-rounded in that both guys can wrestle. Like, Volk can wrestle, but Ilya's got good takedown defense, and Ilya can wrestle too. People forget that before he was a really good striker, he was a really good grappler. That's what got him to the UFC. That's what got him all those wins. His submission grappling, his wrestling, and he just has more ways to win. I don't think he'll necessarily sub Volk, but he could, and he could at least take him down. He could at least threaten submissions. And then on the feet, I still think he's the better striker. And like I said, I think he's faster, more powerful, more durable. We have seen him hurt. Like he got hurt by Jai Herbert up a weight class at 155. So to be fair, it's kind of similar to what happened to Volk going up a weight class. But there's a difference between Jai Herbert and Islam Makhachev. Still, though, I do think that Ilya is more durable. I think he could take a punch better at this stage of his career. And ultimately, I think he's going to win again. There is already a betting line out on Bet Online. they have Volkanovski plus 285 and Ilya Taporia minus 350. Not really sure what you could do with that. Like, it's a little wide considering who Volk is. And I personally probably wouldn't lay the minus 350 on Taporia, but maybe like a Taporia knockout prop or Taporia by decision, because maybe the fight goes differently this time around. Like I said, that could be something. But yeah, I don't think I would bet on Volk, even though that's a crazy number for somebody as good as he is. I just think that Ilya is just that good right now. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.